for that. I think we're going to have one short match.
Could you use this as the opportunity to switch the title back, and Chelsea wins the title back? It might not be a bad thing.
The question would just be, if you flip it back to Chelsea, who should work with?
Chelsea, she's got something. There's something to her.
She does, but my point is, if you put the U.S. title on her, I'm not saying we lost faith in Chelsea. I'm saying put the U.S. title on her, and she works with...
Well, no, but we should do something.
No, but I think it's...
Well, don't fucking cut me off. Let me get mad. You know what I mean?
So Road Dogg just quit WWE, and everybody's celebrating. Everyone's pointing the finger. He was the problem. But here's the thing nobody's talking about. WWE just replaced him with somebody you've never heard of. And what she's doing behind the scenes, it might change everything. Now, we dial it back to March 5th. Road Dogg Brian James walks into the building and quits. Done. His choice, not fired, not released, he quit. And look, if you've been watching SmackDown for the last year and wondering why it felt off, you weren't alone. The IWC has been cooking Road Dogg for months. But here's what's wild, and this is the part that should matter to you as a wrestling fan. His exit just pulled back the curtain on the entire creative structure behind WWE. And what are we seeing? It's not what you think. Let's address the elephant in the room. Road Dogg has been co-lead writer of SmackDown since February of 2025, along John Swickata. And even since SmackDown went to 3 hours for the second year in a row, fans have been saying the same thing. The writing is mid, the pacing is off, the stories don't land. And who gets the blame? Road Dogg. Every single time. But here's what I need you to think about. AJ freaking Styles, went on record in the past defending Road Dogg, said his ideas were actually good, but they got butchered by those above him in the pecking order. Let that sink in, guys. Because if AJ is right, then Road Dogg leaving doesn't fit anything. And record from Meltzer say the real breaking point was the annual performance review. He wasn't happy with it. His creative influence has been shrinking for months. WWE even yanked his convention appearance approval, and when he was canceling that booking, he basically told the promoter this won't be a problem for much longer. He was already 1 foot out the door. So, is SmackDown fits right now since he left? Honestly, Swickata is still there. The 3-hour format is still there. The structure above the writers hasn't changed. If AJ was right about the pecking order problem, we're about to find out real fast. And that brings us to who's actually running things here. Because I guarantee you, most of you watching this right now have no idea who's writing your favorite shows. Or maybe you do, but we're gonna still talk about it. So all right, let's break this down. Who is actually writing WWE television in 2026? Or at least before Road Dogg left? Because this is where it gets interesting. At the very top, you already know who is there. Triple H, Paul Levesque. He's the head of creative. He's been the guy steering the ship. But Triple H is not sitting there at 2 a.m. writing dialogue for Chad Gable. That's not how this works. Because below him, you've got Ryan Ward, Vice President of Creative Writing. And here's what just changed. Ryan Ward is now overseeing creative direction for both shows, Raw and SmackDown. That's a massive consolidation of power. One person, 2 shows, think about that. On the Raw side, you got Alexandra Williams, who we're gonna get into in a minute, and Jonathan Backstorm as co-leads. On the SmackDown side, it's now just John Swickata, flying solo right now as a writing person. Road Dogg desk is empty at this moment. And then you got names like Ed Coshley, David, you might know them from previous TV, because Kapoor was Ranjin Singh on TV, and they're floating around the broadcasting creative structure. And then obviously you have Bruce Pritchard and, like I said, Ed Cosley. Both of them serve as weigh-in into the creative decisions of WWE. So they're like their go-to, Triple H's go-tos. But here's the thing that should jump out to you. This is a small group of people writing television that's on the front of millions every single week. Raw on Netflix, SmackDown on USA. These aren't massive Hollywood writer rooms with 30 people. This is a tight circle. And when one person leaves, like Road Dogg just did, it creates a real vacuum. And the thing WWE doesn't want you thinking about, Triple H brought Road Dogg back personally. August 2022, right after he took it over from Vince. People call it getting the band back together. The DX Boys. And now the DX Boy just quit after a bad performance review. That's not a great look. But here's where it actually gets fascinating. Before I get into this, if you're the type of wrestling fan who wants to know what's actually happening behind the curtain, not just what they show you on TV, do us a favor, hit subscribe. That's what we do here. We talk about it as best as we can, unfiltered, from one mark to the other. So let's keep going. Okay, so let's get to the big topic of this story. Alexandra Williams. Remember that name, Alexandra Williams, because this hire might be the most important creative decision WWE has made since putting Triple H in charge. The same day Road Dogg walks out, Alexandra Williams announced that she's been promoted to vice president and lead writer of Monday Night Raw, the flagship show, the Netflix show, the show that's supposed to be the face of WWE going forward. And now, who is she? Well, she joined WWE in 2022. She started as a writer and producer for Raw and 4 years grinding, writing, producing, learning the system, got promoted to senior writer, then co-lead Raw creative alongside Jonathan Breckstorm, and now she's got the whole thing. But here's what makes her different from every other name I just mentioned. She's data-driven. And I mean really data-driven in her own words. And I'm reading this directly. She said she tracks segment performances, audience trends, and viewership data to make programming decisions. Think about what that means for a minute. For years, WWE creative has been driven by one thing prior to this. What does Vince think is entertaining? What does the boss in the room like? It was gut instinct, vibes. I love it. Alexandra Williams is saying no, show me the numbers. Show me which segment retained viewers. Show me where people tuned out. Show me what the audience actually responds to. That is a fundamental shift that's not just a new writer, it's becoming a new philosophy when she starts taking over. And look, she described her role as pitching to executive leadership in a cross-functional writing team to conceptualize and execute week-to-week storyline, characters, arcs, and premium live event build-ups, including WrestleMania and Survivor Series. She's not booking dark matches, people. She's building the road to WrestleMania 42 right now, as we speak. So let's put this all together, because here's the big picture that nobody else is giving you. WWE just lost Road Dogg on SmackDown, a DX guy, a Triple H loyalist, a polarizing creative voice, and at the same exact time, they elevated a data-driven, non-wrestler, non-legend, new school thinker to run Raw. Two shows, two completely different creative identities. SmackDown's in a flux. Swikata's alone. Ryan Ward is stretched across both shows, and WrestleMania is in 7 weeks. This is not a comfortable position for any of them right now. Raw, on the other hand, Raw might actually be entering its strongest creative era since the Netflix move. You got a lead writer who's treating programming like a science, not just an art. Someone who's going to look at your viewing habits and say, this is what works, this is what doesn't, let's adjust. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, as a mark, as a fan, between the two shows, and this is saying slightly, I am obviously more excited about Raw's creative direction right now than I have been for a long time. Not because of any one storyline, but because the approach is changing. And it might change for the better. We aren't used to the data-driven style, but if it's something that's going to help them get new audience, the newer audience that will take WWE for the next couple of years after we're gone, it's something they're going to have to take. We're not going to like it, but it's what they got to do. It would be nice they put some passion into those numbers, but I can't guarantee it. So the question is, does SmackDown catch up, or does the gap between these two shows get even wider? Because right now, it's looking like two different companies writing two different shows in the coming weeks. And only one of them just got an upgrade. Not the one that needed it right now. That's the real story here. Not just Road Dogg quitting, not just the backstage drama. It's that WWE's creative structure just fundamentally shifted, and most people are too busy arguing about who to blame to notice where this is actually going. Drop a comment, guys. Do you think SmackDown is better off without Road Dogg, or was AJ right about what the real problem was which was always above him? I want to hear what you guys think. Like this video. If you want more conversations like this, let us know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.